Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player, that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. That's Macbeth's bleak commentary upon life, his speech he gave after hearing of the death of his wife. Our past, all our yesterdays, has done nothing more than light a path for us, a path that leads to dusty death. Life is like a bad actor, a poor player, who pointlessly walks and speaks and then is heard no more. Life is just a tale, told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. What does life add up to? 70 and 10? More if you're lucky, if you're not genetically predisposed to contract some fatal illness and if you avoid an accident. But what does it signify? What does it all mean? For Macbeth, the answer was nothing. I suppose what set my mind thinking about Macbeth's words were words from the Gospel when Mary Magdalene, Joanna and Mary, the mother of James, and the other women with them who told the disciples that they discovered the tomb to be empty and that there were two men in dazzling white clothes who told them that Jesus had risen from the dead. And the disciples' reaction? They thought that it was an idle tale, and they did not believe them. I suppose they thought this was maybe just a historical group of women who just imagined that they'd heard and seen something, just wishful thinking, a group hallucination. They had just witnessed the death of their hopes, the gruesome and humiliating death of someone who for a few short years set their hearts on fire, got them to believe that life could be different, that God was more involved, more compassionate, more forgiving, more understanding than they had dared ever imagine. And it had all ended in complete and utter failure. This God, whom Jesus had made known, this Heavenly Father, if he existed at all, had just abandoned Jesus. He'd left him alone to face his accusers, the crowds and the authorities, alone and naked. This God, whom Jesus had said we could rely on utterly, and counts every hair of our head, who is like a father and never gave up on his good-for-nothing son and waits day after day and waits and frets until his son finally returns and then won't hear a word against him. Instead, he throws the most extravagant party to celebrate his homecoming. This wonderful God allows Jesus to die. If only what these women were saying were true. Perhaps those aromatic oils they had taken to the tomb to anoint Jesus and perform love's last service had just gone to their heads. But God had taken into account the disciples' failure. His plan, his purpose, which was nothing less than the redemption of the world, could only be achieved by God alone. Yet the disciples, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and the other women and followers of Jesus, they were not simply poor players, bit actors, strutting and fretting upon the stage. They were an integral part of God's drama of redemption. They are us, weak and sinful, yet somehow important enough to be the very reason why all this took place. In equal measure, it seems, they helped and hindered Jesus in his mission, but in the end, Only he could win the victory over sin and death. The verse from Exodus chapter 14, the Lord will fight for you, and you only have to keep still. The disciples remained paralyzed by fear and despair. But Peter, the ever impetuous Peter, got up and was curious enough about this idle tale that he ran to the tomb to see for himself. And he saw the linen cloths by themselves, evidence of the most explosive event in history. And his head swirling and reeling, he went home, amazed, but still awaiting confirmation of what he could hardly believe. That Jesus was alive. He was alive. He was alive. A light had been lit. Not Macbeth's brief candle, all too soon extinguished, but a light that would burst into flame at Pentecost, a light which would burn even in the darkest times for ages yet to come, a light to lighten the nations, a symbol of hope through all our strivings, our days of sorrow and our times of joy. A light the Easter Paschal candle is a symbol of, which is a symbol of God's victory. The consummation, which will be the time when God himself will wipe away all tears, and there shall be no more death, neither suffering, but life everlasting. Alleluia, Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. Alleluia.